Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Creating Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're just going to do another velocity banking review. So, what is velocity banking? All it is a debt payoff strategy where you throw all of your money into debt with the help of something called a line of credit. And the title of this video is Pay Off Your Debt Like Superman. And the reason I called it that is because I watched the Superman movie yesterday, directed by James Gunn. Uh, and it wasn't that good, to be honest, but I just figured, hey, idea for a title or thumbnail. If I really wanted this to be accurate, I probably should have called it "Pay Off Your Debt Like Batman" because Batman is actually rich, not Superman. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So, what's velocity banking, or what's the first step? It's creating a budget, right? And so, if we go ahead and do this right here, we see that we have the income, we have the expenses, and so a lot of people think that once, and I don't know if they still think this nowadays because I see a lot of YouTube videos like saying, "Hey, $100,000 over $100,000 a year ain't enough nowadays," which could be true, right? If you make $9,000 a year, that's probably like 120 or 30 or 50, right? 100,000 is about 6,000 a month. Not a year, a month. I'm sorry, 6,000 a month is about 100,000. 9,900 probably might be 130 or 40 or 50, right? And if you make that much money, people think, whoa, your life must be pretty sweet. But there are plenty of people out there where they make good money and they don't know how to manage their debt, right? And so in this case, we only have $33 left over. So ask all of your friends, right? Don't even show them this velocity banking stuff. Just say, hey, if you make $9,900 a month, okay, and you only have $33 left over in savings, and because you have 5 credit cards, 2 car loans, a student loan, and a mortgage, do you need to make more money to kind of, let's say, get rid of your debt? And everybody will say, "Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. You need to do that, right?" And what we're going to show is that, hey, we're not going to do banking the traditional way. We're going to control the flow of money, and so what we're going to do is copy and paste this, and then so here it's almost the same, but one of the biggest differences and mindset shifts that you're going to see here is that we're not going to save money, right? Like, why do we need to save money? We're going to control the flow of money so that it just attacks our debt, and then kind of use like a line of credit to help us do that, right? Because why? What is the biggest issue that people have when it comes to paying off their debt? Well, how do I, especially with a one-way loan, right? One-way loan, if I put it all in, how do I get it back if in case I need it? And people struggle with that. So if you use your line of credit as your main operating account, much easier. I'm not saying you can't do it if you don't have a line of credit. I'm just saying it's much easier, right? Much easier. Okay. So let me go ahead and go in here and show you what this looks like in real life. So money comes in. I just don't save money, right? Really easy. And then people freak out. It's like, "You don't have any money saved?" Uh-uh, uh-uh, uh-uh. Money comes in and then it just goes out into something called a line of credit. And so if you don't know what a line of credit is, all it is a financial tool where you could borrow money, pay it back, and then use it over and over again. So this is $373,500 in lines of credit, okay? Or in a home equity line of credit. So what this means is I can go to the bank's website, right? I could go to the bank's website, click a button, and they'll dump up to $373,500 in lines of credit. Okay, that's what this means. All right. So if you take a look here, I have over $731,000 in lines of credit. And this includes personal business credit cards because the credit card is technically a line of credit, but it's not like the most flexible. Like if I need actual real cash, you know what I have? I got a personal line of credit. I got these 3 personal lines of credit. And then I also have a home equity line of credits because you click a button, and it's like cash in your checking account. But a credit card is still technically a line of credit, and I actually use both to handle my expenses. Now, so what we're going to assume is that we have access to $175,000 free and clear line of credit. Now, when you're $33 left over in the month, and when you're at this stage, it's like more month than money, right? You ever hear that phrase? What's going to happen is if you try to get a line of credit at this stage, the bank is going to deny you. Why is that? Is because banks don't lend money to people who need it, right? And if you understand that principle, that they don't lend money to people who need it, then you understand when to go to a bank. So, how do I have over $731,000 in lines of credit? Well, it's easy. I didn't need the money, so I went to the bank, say, "Hey, I want a credit card," or "Hey, I want a line of credit." And then when they see that you don't need money, they're like, "Okay," right? So that's how you get it. And so what happens? So this is the situation. What happens to most people is they start off in a position not needing money, they end up borrowing it, right? And because they experience this thing called segregation of income, your paycheck comes in and then it gets split into 20 different ways, right? You're essentially making minimum payments on everything. Okay. And banks love minimum payments because if I'm a lender, I don't want you to pay me in full on day one. Why? Because how do I get the interest? Okay. How do I make Z money? I don't know. But what I want to show you here is if you knew the strategy from the beginning, you would probably never be here, right? You'd probably never be here, right? But let's just assume we have a free and clear line of credit. This is kind of like your safety belt, right? When it comes to driving, don't drive without a safety belt. And also don't drive without insurance and try to get car insurance because that's how the bank sees you when you try to get a line of credit and you're broke, right? It's like crashing your car without insurance and say, "How do I get car insurance?" I'm like, I have no clue. Like, stop asking me stupid questions. And the reason I say stupid questions so that you associate those types of that type of thinking with being stupid. I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm just saying people nowadays like they want to crash the car, and then when you tell them, "Hey, can you please learn to drive?" They get offended. You know what I mean? Like, you ever notice that? What's the deal with that? Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna move some of their debt into the line of credit. So it'll be five. So if we take a look at the credit card balances, 5, 8, 15, 27, 30, let's sum it all up. That's $85,000 in credit card debt. So if we move the $85,000 of credit card debt into this, I don't know, $175,000 line of credit, um, it doesn't have to be 175. It just has to be big enough, right? So $100,000 line of credit. Okay. So let's do this. Actually, I'll leave it 175 for now. But let's just do this. If we move that debt into the line of credit, guess what happens here? Oh my goodness, didn't these payments just go away? Whoa, how do we go from $33 to $2,860.73? I don't know, but this is a lifesaver. Look at this. Here we're drowning. Here, I mean, we're not in the best position, but at least we're better off than here, right? 33 or 2,800, which one do you prefer? I prefer the 2,800. And then the final thing is you put your entire paycheck into the line, take your expenses out, and then you rinse and repeat over and over again. That's it, right? So you just rinse and repeat over and over again. So you put your entire paycheck into that line, satisfy that minimum monthly payment, lower the interest because it's based on the average daily balance, and then you subtract that cash flow because that's the amount that the debt reduces by every single month, right? All right. So now we just multiply 8.5 and divide by 12, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to copy paste this, and look at that. How do we go from 80 something K to whatever K? So this is going to be 34 grand, right? So 34 grand paid off. So 34. So 34 months. And then this is going to be, I don't know. How much is it? 85K? Yeah, I have a fish memory, so I can't remember what I did. All right, so now let's go ahead. Car loan 1, 2, student loan, mortgage. So let's go ahead and pay these off. And all right, so what month are we at? I got to reset all this. These are my loan calculators. 2 car loans, so we're at 34 months. And then 34, 34, 34, 34. And then we see right here that we're using something called the cash flow index to determine which debts to pay off. Against debt divided by monthly payment gives you a ranking. The lower the payment, or sorry, the lower the ranking, the more bang you get for your buck for paying it off. So if you have this high number, it's like, oh, pay me 281,000, and I'll give you 1,200 a month. Versus, oh, pay me 94,000, I'll give you 13 or 1,400 a month. Which one's a better deal, right? In terms of ratio versus payment. So let's go ahead and copy this, and what's the sum of this? That's going to be 21,732.38. So 21,732.38. And then this is going to be plus 2173.38. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take off these car loans because these are the loans we took off from that loan list. And then now we've increased our cash flow to 3,700. Amazing. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. And then this is going to be minus 3741.89. And we're going to do this right here. And so I'm going to do this. So it's 40 months. And then 40 months, we paid off 2 more loans. So it's going to be 85 plus 30 plus 17, 132K. All right. So now the student loan at 40 months. Oh, somebody's calling me. Decline. No, thank you. All right. So I'm going to do this right here. Student loan, 120. No, I'm sorry. 40 months. 40 months. And then let's move this 88 grand into that line of credit. Yeah, if you don't know that noise, that's my dial pad. That's have you ever used dial pad? It's pretty cool. Love the software. All right, so let's go ahead and do this right here. 88 grand. I'm gonna do this right here, and then this is gonna be plus 88867.2. And then now the student loan is gonna go to 0, and then 5 grand. That's going to be here. So now we update our cash flow to 5135.19. And then let's go ahead and update all of this. And how many? 59, right? 59. Okay. So 59 months, that student loan is paid off, right? So 100, so it'd be 59 plus 120. No, 132 plus 120. 252K. Oh my goodness. Who is calling me? Give me one moment. Popular guy. Supposedly, I am. Everybody just keeps calling me, you know? All right. So let me go ahead and do this. This is gonna. What am I doing? All right. So now, final thing is the mortgage. All right. So this is gonna be 0. It's gonna be 59 months. And then now our mortgage at 59 months. What is it? Oh, yeah, we got it right here. And so now we just do something called chunking with the velocity banking calculator. Now, here's the thing. You might hear on the internets that if you have a 3% mortgage, move it to an 8 or 9 line of credit because line of credit good, mortgage bad. That's not true because we just do a quick comparison, right? Let me open up the velocity banking calculator. Give me one moment. All right, here we go. Here's a velocity banking calculator. And all I have to do, the cool thing is I just type in numbers and I'm good. And let me re-update these numbers here. And then no, let me do this. And I'm just going to do this. So it's 300,000 mortgage. What's the current balance? It's 267,315.61. 267,315.61. And then 1264.81. Okay. And then what's our income? Our income, I believe, is 9,500 or 9,900. We feel rich, or we look good on paper, but we're not really that rich because we got too much debt. Actually, we're in a good spot now because all we have left is the mortgage and our expenses, everything except for the loan we're trying to pay off. So if we have $3,500 in expenses, bam, paid off in 3.7 years. 3.7 years. So it's 59 divided by 12 plus 3.7. So that's 8.62 years. And then we are debt free. So that's 252 plus 300. So it's 552,000. 552, not thousand. Wait, this is 552,000? Yeah, I think it is. What are you talking about? I don't even know. You know what's funny? As I've gotten better at this, I probably am worse at teaching it because I paid off my mortgage in 2 years and 9 months. And so when you pay off your mortgage in 2 years and 9 months and then you see something like, oh, 3.7 years, you're like, that's kind of long. You know what I mean? That's kind of long. You have such a skewed frame of reference. It's like, whatever. Oh man. Look at these big checks. I love big checks. And you know what's sad is once you receive these checks, then it's like, oh, it's not that big. It's not that big. Probably there's going to be a point where if I make like 100 grand a month, and I'm not saying I'm there, I'm just saying if I do, I just say, oh, whatever. It's not a million a month, right? Yeah, what do you call it? Lifestyle creep? No, it's not lifestyle creep. But we'll just, you know what I'm talking about. All right. That's it for today, folks. This is Korean Atlanta Mentorship with another video for today. Did you all miss me? Because I haven't posted a video in forever. I'll be honest, I've actually been working. I know, right? Like I haven't been doing anything for like the past who knows what, but I decided, hey, you know what? Let's see if I can make a little bit more money. And bought myself a new Huron juicer that's supposed to be really good. Was the H70 model, so I'm gonna try that hopefully today if I have time. But I wanted to make a velocity banking video for y'all because I know y'all miss me. Okay, I know y'all miss me. You're like, you haven't posted in 3 days. Where you been? I'm like, trying to make a little bit more money so that I can make more videos for y'all. That's kind of the benefit of making more money. You can make as many velocity banking videos as you want. Okay, well, that's it for today. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.